Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Truck Guy Joe. On today's video, we're going to do a quick side-by-side comparison, old versus new. My old tired red Boss plow sitting there versus this brand new stainless one. You're looking at about 20 years difference between the two. I've had a chance to run this stainless one on the lot today, and I'm quite impressed with it. And someday I'm going to have to upgrade mine, so I figured this would be a good time to do a little side-by-side comparison to see what's changed, what the differences are, pros and cons, etc. We finally had a snow event in Erie. This is the first time in Erie we actually had to plow some snow. This is January of 2022. Had to bring the trucks out, so figured it'd be a good chance to do a little comparison. So stay tuned and we'll just go through some basic features on these plows and the differences and what to expect if you purchase one. I'd like to apologize ahead of time if there's some crackling, a lot of wind noise today. It is pretty blustery. I have an external mic on the GoPro with a windsock, but today's pretty windy, so we might get a little bit of distortion. I do apologize for that if it hurts your ears. So at first glance, you can definitely see the difference, old to new. So you're looking at a plow from 2001. Bought this plow brand new in 2001, and this year is a 2022. And that's been the trend. As you can see on a lot of these V plows, the trend has been a taller blade. Taller wing with the taper works great when you're in the scoop position for rolling snow, scooping, and also windrowing to carry that snow and throw that snow farther in a windrow. That taller blade does a good job. So back in 2001, this kind of was the top of the line, the Mac Daddy, if you will. This is the 9-foot 2-inch RT3. This is an 8.2. So this is available in a 9.2, but at the time, this was the only plow available. We needed a new truck for the lot for plowing snow. This is the last plow available. O'Reilly Equipment in Ohio. Thanks guys for the help on this one. 8.2, you could go up to a 10-foot on this plow, 10-foot V. Back in 2001, I'm not sure if Boss actually had a 10-footer. I'd have to look into that. But this is a 9'2" RT3. I did put the snow foil on this one, which helps kind of, with some of the snow coming up over the blade and get up on the windshield. We didn't opt for the snow foil on the new truck. Basically, there's a lot of similarities in general. I mean, if you look at the light bar, the A-frame, the trip springs, they didn't change very much. They kind of didn't reinvent the wheel. They kind of stuck with what works. And I got to tell you, I mean, I've been plowing with this truck since 2001. It's got a lot of time and hours on it. It's held up well, a lot of similarities. And what they did was they built onto these plows where some of the shortcomings were. Back when these plows first came out, if you guys didn't know the Bosses, there was a rubber shoe in the middle, a rubber shoe, and the cutting edges were just straight. Well, I did upgrade these cutting edges to turn in. Now they're standard. This cutting edge turns right in. Turns right in, there's no shoe, and you've got curb guard. Brand new. I had to upgrade these to get the new style Boss with the curb guards and eliminate the shoe. Also, the smart lock pistons, they're standard on that plow. That plow has smart lock. I had to upgrade to the smart lock. What those do, locks the blade in place, straight blade, so when you're back dragging, if you get a bunch of snow behind the plow, the weight of the snow doesn't push the blade out. You don't lose your coverage. Obviously, one of the big differences is the stainless mold bore, which is an option on these. You don't have to get stainless. You can still get the hard steel, and you could get poly as well. Back in 2001, I do believe they had a poly plow back then as well. You can get poly, but the stainless is a nice feature, does a good job. And a couple little things they did just to help improve the plow for longevity is take a look at their hoses. See how this hose is wrapped with a protective wrap there if it rubs on the frame. My hoses didn't come with that, so I just used some heater hose and some zip tie, and it works good, it does the job. I still might consider upgrading the lights. These lights do okay. I end up using my high beams more than ever, but these LEDs have really come a long way and they do a really great job, especially for nighttime plowing and just driving around the city. The one feature that remains the same on the brand new plow compared to my 20-year-old plow is the return spring. So the way these plows retract is when the cylinders, the pressure relief, you let the pressure off with the controller, the spring brings the wing back. So if you break a spring, you end up with a floppy wing. So always carry extra springs is what I do. And Boss, they stuck with that on this one. I thought maybe at some point they would have went to a two-way cylinder, if you will. Sorry for stuttering there. Rather than cut and edit, I'm just gonna fumble my way through this. So yeah, basically a power in, power out type cylinder, but they stuck with that. And then the downforce, that is a new feature, and they very well could have done it on the old plow because this is basically the same motor cover setup, but now they've got the downforce allowing the piston to push down, put some good pressure on that plow for scraping, and it does do a good job. I did play around with it a little bit earlier. Another feature to discuss is how the plow actually trips. So on this old 20-year-old plow, I don't have trip edges. The edges are fixed, they're bolted to the plow. The entire plow will fold off the trip springs. So when you hit something, the whole blade goes and it comes back pretty violently. So when it snaps back, it does bounce the truck up. So you could be in the driver's seat and hit your head off the roof. So it's nice that they finally came out with Boss, come out with a trip edge. So just the edge itself, you know, manhole cover, something like that, just the edge will go. If you do hit something big enough, the entire plow can also go. Again, same kind of A-frame, same trip spring, but in general, this will give you a little smoother, nicer operation, a little more friendly if you do hit an object. So it's definitely a nice option to go for. Take a look at the controllers. Basically, they're the same, not much has changed, just the actual functions. So on the Boss, this controller's been pretty standard for a long time. They also do offer a joystick. Like, you can have a joystick that'll hang off the door panel. At one point I had the joystick, which is why there's a wear item on this this panel, this switch panel. That's what this is from. I used to have the joystick, but ultimately I went for the handheld remote. And so you still have your raise, and they do have the express down where you can hit it twice, and 2 quick bumps down put you right in the float. So the red light means you're floating. So you can either raise it up, you can just lower it and hold down, press and hold till it goes red, or you can do the express. So it's up to you. You can have it up, hit it twice, well, 1, 2, down to the float, stays in the red. And with the downforce, I'll demonstrate that on the Ford. Basically, same looking controller, same kind of layout, same function, just with the Ford, you also have the downforce. Everything else is the same. Okay, so here we are inside the Super Duty, and as you can see, the control on this plow is just like the one in my truck, so they haven't really changed much. You know, it's the same basic layout, same controller. Only real difference is the downforce control. So you still have your up and down. You press and hold the down, the light goes red, that's your float. They also have the express float, so I'll just demonstrate that. So right now the plow's up in the air, can't really see it, but just 2 presses, that's the express down into a float. And then once it's actually in the float position, if you do 2 more taps, that will do the downforce. And you'll see that that red light is gonna go amber or yellow, if you will. So we're gonna go 1, 2, just like that. Now, the front of that plow is actually being pushed to the ground, the front of the truck just lifted up. And I'll hop outside and also demonstrate that so you can see it working. So here we are, we're outside the Ford. We're just gonna do a double tap, light goes red. So now it's just in a flow position. If I tap it 2 more times, you're gonna hear that motor run. You're gonna see the front of that truck pick up as it pushes the plow into the ground. So let's go 2 taps, 1, 2, there it goes. So I don't know if you can see the front raise, but it did. It actually picked the front of the truck up as it pushes down on that plow to help it scrape. And right now, being in that V position with the downforce, in that position, you're really got some good scraping ability. So that cylinder is extended right now. I can see that, and it's got the front of the truck up in the air from pushing down so hard. And then if I go ahead and just hit the down button, you'll see that front end is gonna go ahead and lower again. Let me just release that pressure. We're gonna pick it up. And there you go. That's the downforce control. Here's another feature that Boss has stuck with is this little switch here for the lights. So you can flip between plow and truck. Basically, that'll control the plow lights on the plow, or you can flip it over to truck. My truck, 20 years older, has the same exact setup. It hasn't changed. So if I ran over to my truck, you'd see the exact same switch here, where at some point, will they do like an isolation module like Douglas Dynamics does, where you plug your harness in and it automatically flips over? I don't know, but this is one little extra feature that they do have on the Boss that controls the headlights. That's going to wrap up this video. I do appreciate your time and thank you for watching. If you have any questions or comments, just leave them below. Let me know. Be glad to answer them with you and communicate with you about these trucks. I'm glad that we were able to get a plow. I mean, there's been a shortage of everything, as you know. It's tough to get stuff. Stuff's been selling out and people have been grabbing things. So our dealership, was time for them to upgrade their plow truck, and so we did get a good plow. Looking forward to using this for a lot of years. And the nice thing about it is with good maintenance, if we decide to sell this truck or want to upgrade, we can move this plow from truck to truck. I think it'll give us a good 20 years of use, just like mine. So again, thanks for watching. Have a great day. Happy New Year, everyone. We'll see you on the next video. Take care.